What's good, everyone? Welcome to episode 21 of Dink or Swim. My name is Cesar,
My name is Yatish.
and we have
My name is Kenji founder of San Jose Pickleball Club.
founder of San Jose Pickleball Club, and we're here in the building. Wanted to switch it up and get some new faces on the show. So, Kenji, before we dive into, the Pickleball Club, San Jose Pickleball Club, I wanted to kind of get your background. So, where are you originally from? I know you're here now, in San Jose.
Yep. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
San Jose. Originally I'm from the East Coast. I grew up in North Carolina, Pennsylvania through middle school, high school, college, and then I came out to San Jose in 2010 with my then girlfriend at the time, Kate, who's now my wife, because her family is from San Jose.
Okay.
And, she wanted to start a pho restaurant in Milpitas, and that's what brought us out here. And I just kind of tagged along, and things worked out, and I ended up working in tech. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Was there not like any pho restaurants back from where you're from, North Carolina?
There's a few, but definitely not as many
Yeah.
as San Jose, for sure.
I will
Yeah.
say San Jose has top-notch
Yeah,
pho.
yeah, it's the best.
What's your favorite pho restaurant?
We go to House of Pho a lot.
House of
One
Pho.
of those. I mean, it's like a small chain. There's one
Okay.
in like Almaden. There's a few. There's one in like off El Camino, I think.
Okay.
It's
Oh,
good.
yeah.
House
I
of
think I
Pho.
know what you're talking about. El Camino Real, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you been there?
I haven't been there. The one I know of is Pho Saigon. I feel like that's the one everyone goes to.
Pho Saigon.
We all
over here.
we also in the morning because it's open at 9. We get a Pho Yi #1.
Oh,
on
yeah,
the
yeah,
east
yeah.
Off of a Capitol.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's a popular one. It wasn't that before, right? It was something else, and then
I don't know.
they switched it. I personally like Pho 90 in Vietnam Town. Have you been there?
Is that the one that's like near the Walmart, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like several pho
They got a
restaurants.
Pho Hanoi there too.
Pho,
right?
yeah.
that's
It's
the
kind
one-
of
yeah.
close to Pho Hanoi.
Okay.
Okay, that's cool. So you came here to pursue the pho dream.
No, yeah, I mean, no, it wasn't my dream. It was Kate. It was definitely Kate and her family's dream. I just kind of tagged along.
Yeah.
I actually worked there for a little bit, and
And
that was fun. But no, I eventually wound up getting a job elsewhere, just doing like content coordinating for a company called Voodoo.
yeah.
It's like a platform. It's like a streaming service. But then I kind of learned how to code and got into that. So that was a great career transition for sure.
yeah, okay. And then that was from 2020 to now.
Yep.
Okay. And then when did pickleball enter your life, and how did it enter your life?
Yeah, so my dad first introduced me to it even before the pandemic. I'd say it's like 2 or 3 years before the pandemic, so maybe like 2017-ish.
Oh, okay.
And I was telling you guys earlier, I thought it was like, oh, this is like a cute game for seniors. Like we're just dinking around. It's easy to pick up, but it was just very like slow paced. And
Right.
I thought it was like that paddle game at the beach. So you see people playing sometimes. There's
yeah.
2 paddles and a ball. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool, but not that fun. And I didn't think much of it. And I
Right.
just kind of went on with my life. But then around into 2019, Kate and I started playing at it was Canoas Park. It was a few folks, and then they migrated to Wallenberg Park.
Okay.
It's like where Willow Glen Middle School is.
Yeah.
And that's when we met players that are just more like aggressive and dynamic, and I saw like how fun the game was, and of course like many of us here, I just got hooked
Yeah.
immediately, and I still am. So that's like my intro to it.
Yeah. So you're playing, kind of here and there, trying to test in the waters, and then you found a tribe
Yeah.
that kind of force you to elevate your game, I guess, and maybe kind of challenge you a little bit and see a different level of playing the sport is kind of what it sounds like.
Yeah, they're just bangers. They're just constantly hitting it, and I learned to deal with that. But still, I was pretty much a casual player.
Yeah.
I mean, I still am, but more recently, I'm trying to take it a bit more seriously and try to make a concerted effort to drill more and level up my game.
Mm-hmm. Any tournaments?
Yeah, this last weekend we did a bunch actually, but they're smaller tournaments. But we did a bunch at the hub. We did the
Oh, were you in the MLP?
yeah, I was in the
okay.
MLP. We
Nice.
did
Nice.
the 16-point division. We did okay. Oh, we did third. There's only 4 teams. We did third, but
Oh.
there was some
Hey, you still got a medal.
tough competition. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm trying to do more like organized play, like tournaments or
Yeah.
like events and stuff, rather than just like go out there for rec play and like just hit around casually.
Yeah. Have you done tournaments recently, Yatish?
No, not recently.
The last one you did was with Huey,
yeah,
right?
last one I've done with Huey.
Was that like a situation where you're like, all right, I'm not doing this again?
No,
Or-
no. Well, I think Huey just moved on to other people. But
Oh, is that the real reason?
yeah.
Okay.
No, but also I've been trying to plan something with JT, but he's busy, I'm busy, so we're trying to figure something out.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
We were supposed to join a tournament too, but for whatever reason, something happened and we couldn't join it. So hopefully me and Joss will get some going on soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
So do you play with Kate like pretty often, or is that your partner?
We used to.
Yeah.
We used to when Palmore first opened up, Palmore Park. We used to go all the time and help set up nets, and then we'd end up playing the rest of the night. Now, more recently, in the last year, since like the hub opened, like I usually just go to the hub at night. She doesn't like to play indoors as much. So
Oh, really? That's the
it's
first
just
time
kind
I've
of been
heard
like
that.
on
Yeah.
my own there. But yeah, we'll go out to. We live near Edenvale Park in
Yeah.
South San Jose, and so and those are the lines that those are the courts that the club helped
Yeah.
create. So we'll go out there and like do some drills
Yeah.
or just like play with other people.
What do you
there.
think is like the biggest dynamic difference between indoor and outdoor? Not maybe not like play wise, but maybe even socially or even like
I
you
don't.
know.
Social aspect, I think it's the same. I mean, I guess every location has its own like culture and like, way
Right.
of doing things. I actually really like the hub because like it's like the most perfect or ideal playing conditions. Like you can't complain
You
about
can't replicate
wind.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the courts are in great condition. There's no dead spots.
Right.
Some people complain about the lighting. I think it's decent.
Some courts,
Some
yeah.
courts are a little dim, I guess. But like, yeah, it's just like the most ideal court conditions, I'd say. But it's
Yeah.
nice to be outside in the sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once you've played at the hub, I remember I've been going to the hub for a while now, and then I went back to I live in Morgan Hill, and I played in the outdoor courts there, and it was just wind swirling around,
Yeah.
and it
Wind
was
ball.
just a full 180, and I was like, do I ever want to play outdoors again?
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice, but yeah, if it's super windy, it's
tough.
It's tough. Yeah.
But
It's a different game.
It is a different
Nothing
game.
beats like when it's just a nice 70-degree day with the sun
Yeah.
out, and then
Yeah.
that's like perfect. Like you feel
Yeah.
good being outdoors playing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But
Definitely. Yeah.
like you said, when the conditions are stable, it's I think usually the best play comes
Yeah.
out of it.
For sure. And the reason why I asked that question earlier is, and I don't know if it's just me or what I've experienced. I haven't played outdoor like way too much. I've done it, a handful of times, but generally speaking, I feel like it's easier to pick up a game. Like if you're by yourself, I feel like it's easier to pick up a game at the hub because you literally just ding, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like
It depends where you are. I mean,
Yeah.
like, you go to Palmore Park, they have a queue system there, so you just
so same thing.
you
same
pop your
situation.
paddle down, and you'll go when the next four are up. Yeah.
Have you been to what's that new one that just opened off pretty close to here?
On the east side,
No,
by the
it's-
hills.
No,
or-
it's like at the park. What's it? No, the one the one that you drill at in the morning.
Cataldi?
Cataldi, yeah. Have you been there?
I haven't. I've been to the park, but I don't think I've seen the new courts just yet. No.
Okay. I heard well, I didn't hear. I saw on Facebook that someone like cut the nets.
Oh yeah. We posted about.
Was that you that posted that?
I think Kate posted about it.
Oh.
Or
Wait,
no,
that's
no,
you
sorry,
guys?
No, Kate didn't post. What's his name? Somebody else posted.
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
No,
Someone cut the nets?
Yeah, I'm assuming it's someone that probably lives in the area that
Oh,
you
yeah.
know maybe the noise was a factor. I don't know for sure. I've heard. I mean, I know they've changed or they put signage up on, making sure that there's no one playing after hours because people are setting up their own lights. They're playing till like 1 a.m.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So I can see how that's a little frustrating, but to cut down the net's a little
Yeah.
it's a little extreme. But anyways, kind of going back to, kind of what we're talking about, San Jose Pickleball Club. How did that start? I mean, you're the founder. You signed the paperwork. How did that what was your idea behind it, and how did that start?
Well, first I'll say it's definitely a community effort. It wasn't
Yeah.
like just all me. So what happened is we were all playing at Wallenberg Park,
Uh huh.
and we noticed that, like, like the court, there's a bunch of cracks in the asphalt, like there's some areas like overgrown, like shrubbery and stuff. And so we like took the time to like pull money together amongst the community and like, get some asphalt repair stuff. And like we spent a day like, filling up the cracks and like, cutting out, doing some weeding, like cutting out the shrubbery.
So you actually like did put in the work.
Yeah. Like, and so like that, but so that was the jump start of the club, because it was when funds started pulling together towards like communal usage. And we were also talking with various people. There's a OG pickleball guy in the Bay Area by the name of Steve Sutton. He's done a lot of the overlay lines in various courts in the Bay Area and Mitchell Park as well, and Morgan Hill. Anyway, he told us that like it would be good to start a nonprofit club so that we'd have more like impact when interfacing with the city.
Oh, so
They,
that's
like,
where that
take us
idea.
more seriously.
Okay.
So we did, and also I was put in contact with Monica Williams at the Palo Alto Pickleball Club. She was the president of that club at the time, and I hadn't been any Zoom calls with her, and she kind of advised me of like what to do to get the club started. So we basically tried to make a clone of their club. We actually used the same like bylaws exactly that they did.
I mean, why not? Why change it, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
just-
it's already
so
kind of laid out for
It
you.
was definitely like a clone from
Yeah.
Palo Alto Pickleball Club. So
Shout out Palo Alto Pickleball. Shout out.
Yeah, definitely, and thanks to her for supporting us and like getting it started. So yeah, and then I just did the paperwork to actually incorporate the club. It's a 501c7, so just like Palo Alto Club, it's a nonprofit social club, and it just enables people to donate money. Or you're supposed to be funded by membership dues, like the members that join. All that money is like basically you can use it. You can collect it tax free because it's coming from the membership itself. And we use those funds the club uses funds to like buy consumables like balls and nets at various locations.
How many members?
How much are those fees to be a member?
Right now, I think it's like $40 a year. Yeah.
Solid.
And then how did you? Well, how many members do you have now, and how do you grow the network and membership?
Yeah, I think right now it's like 600. It might be less.
Oh,
I
wow.
don't know. It's fluctuated through the years.
Yeah.
There's another woman from Gilroy, Lisa Trumpler. She actually did a lot. She was very impactful and like she was very social, outgoing. Maybe you guys have met her. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know her?
She was at the pickleball or the event, Huey's event.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've
Cool.
seen her, I think, on Morgan Hill, like on Morgan Hill pickleball pages as well.
Yeah. She's very active in
Yeah.
the community. Very generous. She's always coming out and like teaching for free, like beginners and stuff. But I don't know. She just has a more like upfront personality.
Yeah.
She does a better job like marketing the club and like
Okay.
getting people to interested in joining. She's like, hey, why don't you join? Whereas like I'm just like, hey, if you want to join, great. If not, that's fine too. But
That's pretty cool. I mean, to see kind of, an idea that came from, you guys just enjoying the game, having fun, noticing that there's a problem, asphalt, there's holes on the floor. There's,
yeah,
the court can be a little bit more suitable for more players, right? And
Yeah.
just to try to get together and hopefully make a better experience for new players and existing players alike. And then from starting that to now 600 members, that's pretty cool.
yeah, it's
And what is that, 4 years?
yeah. I mean, around 2020. So 4 years.
Okay. And how, let's say our listeners want to join, what's the best way to do that?
To join?
Yeah.
Oh, let's go to the website, San Jose Pickleball.org. I mean, there's a link right there. Yeah, you can join. Yeah, it's more like if most of the members, I think they play at Palmore Park. That's the only park that the club has like a strong presence because they provided all the nets and some of the balls that people play there. And so like if people find, get value out of playing there and like they appreciate, like at first we had to set up all the nets ourselves. Like we had a team of volunteers that were setting up nets
In the mornings? And
or like in the afternoons.
Okay.
And then tearing them down.
Really?
Now I think the nets are just out there a lot of times.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, we just say like if people find value in playing there, like you consider joining and donating, like because the funds go towards like other communal expenses.
So
yeah.
a couple of other things to piggyback off of what we're talking about here. what are some benefits of being a member? Like, if you can talk a little bit about that, and then are you guys looking for any leadership type of help at all, or
or any help?
Yeah,
Like,
or any help.
is there anything
What
that-
are
yeah.
what are ways to get involved outside of being a
mean-
member, if there are?
Yeah, I mean, definitely reach out to Kate Law, about the current president, about, getting more involved with the club and
Yeah.
admin capacity. I'm sure she'd love to have additional hands because
Yeah.
she's been doing a lot of stuff herself behind the smes,
Yeah.
like helping plan tournaments and like creating merch to sell.
Thank you, Kate.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. It's a lot of work. Like,
Yeah,
for
no,
sure.
totally.
And, yeah.
There's a lot of
And it's all
logistics.
doing that the goodness of her heart, all for free. Like she's
Yeah.
not getting paid. So it's a lot of work.
Talk about dedication and passion, right?
Yeah, but that's the kind of the beautiful thing about pickleball. Like it somehow like brings that out in a lot of people. Like
For
they
sure.
want to contribute to helping others like discover pickleball or like support the sport.
I mean, yeah, and that's exactly what this podcast is about, is just bringing this sport to those that don't play, that do play, that maybe played and stopped playing. Hopefully, it can help someone out. That's kind of why we're here, right?
Yeah, I mean, the best thing about pickleball is like the community, in my opinion,
Yeah.
at the club level. And I know we were talking off camera a little bit about how you were talking about, the overlay lines, and how you're saying, there's not really too many people on those tennis courts anyways, right? And that just made me think, because I have a tennis background, and it's just like how much this sport really has that community aspect to it, especially at the club level.
Yeah,
Versus tennis, it's like courts are empty. There's no real like organized. I mean, I'm sure there is, but it's just not booming
Not
as
as
much
not as accessible.
that I see. Yeah, it's not so
mean,
accessible.
the
Yeah.
culture it seems like completely different.
Yeah.
It's like you go to a court with like your
Your crew,
with
yeah.
your crew, with your foursome or two.
Yeah.
And that's it. You play with them.
That's
and
it.
But like pickleball, it's like pickup culture. Like you
Yeah.
show up and usually you get mixed in to various courts. Yeah.
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 It's almost like kind of like pickup basketball, but the biggest difference is you can't play like if there's a group of if there's a team with 5 like 25-year-olds and there's a team of like 5 7-year-olds. I mean,
Right.
9 times out of 10, right? Maybe the 7-year-olds are Michael Jordan. I don't know, right? But 9 times out of 10, the 25-year-olds are gonna do some work, right? Pickleball, that's not the case.
Yeah.
Like you never know, right? You never know
That's right, yeah.
who's gonna just smoke you.
Right.
You can't judge a book by its
You
cover.
cannot
in
judge a
pickleball.
book.
That's true.
Right,
You
yeah.
will
Yeah.
get smoked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess another question that I had for you, I see your son over there. Have you brought that sport to him? And I asked that with a little bit of context, is because I know, right? You start off by saying when you first started, you saw a lot of elderly people playing. You
Yep.
thought it was that kind of sport, right? But
Right.
now we're seeing more and more youth get into it.
Yeah.
And Huey and I were having a conversation about it too. Of are we going to see this sport go into like high school, into middle school?
That's a
And-
great question.
And what do you see growth in that? And how do you connect that to like maybe sharing that sport with your son?
Well, first, yeah, I definitely we dink around with Connor all the time. Like when we go out as like a family to like usually now it's like Edenville Park. Yeah, he's actually pretty good. Like he could actually have a rally and
There you
go back
go.
and forth. But yeah, what's interesting you said about like getting into like high school, middle school is like I think it was at one time in like the 80s and 90s or something, which is why like Willow Glen Middle School, where originally there were like these 9 asphalt courts outside that were just like dilapidated. They're just like abandoned.
Oh, yeah,
They're
yeah.
fallen. They're just like not good condition, and no one ever played there. But they were created there. I think it's on school property for like the middle school to play it during gym class. and stuff.
Really?
So I think it was maybe part of the curriculum
Yeah.
at one point, but then it just went away, and years went by, and as pickleball started to blow up during the pandemic, people found those abandoned courts and started playing on
Yeah.
them. And that's
Yeah, that's a great. I never thought about that. I'm sure there has to be some kind of schools out there that play or have it.
Yeah, I wouldn't know, but I think eventually I could see that's like the next progression of
Yeah.
like how this sport grows is like have it be organized within schools.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And you were saying the pandemic brought out that explosive growth.
Mhm.
Was it growing when, because you started before that, you started like
Just
in
a little,
2017,
just a little
right?
bit. No,
Yeah.
I'd say I started just before the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I first like knew about it around 2017, but then I didn't play.
Okay.
Like, years went by, and then I picked it up around just before the pandemic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like going there right before and pandemic happens, right? Everything gets shut down. Then you start playing, and then now you're trying to get this club up and running. Like, what was that process like? You know, seeing, I don't know how much exposure you had before the pandemic, but I would imagine it wasn't as accessible and it wasn't as common, or people weren't really talking about it as much. But to where it is now, like everyone's talking about it. Everyone's,
Yeah.
you see it everywhere now. And you're like in that in between space where you're kind of in the up and coming, like right when the pandemic happens and you get it. Because you started it right at 2021, right? 2020, 2021. So like that's literally the heart of the pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like how was that process like?
I mean, yeah, at that time, I remember we mostly just played at Wallenberg Park, those 9 asphalt courts, or maybe Canoas in the morning. And that was really it. This is before like Palmore Park opened, before EVC opened,
Yeah.
Hub. So as far as I was concerned, that was
The only one, right?
That was like the world of pickleball in San Jose. It was just that.
Yeah.
It's just that court.
And now it's like, I mean, there's a lot of courts now.
Oh yeah,
Like-
I'll definitely give Parks and Rec and like Capital Improvements team their credit. I know they're trying to build as many courts as they can when like funds get available, but they're just there's like little courts here and there.
Yeah.
I feel like we need like a big complex. In the
I'm
Bay
so
Area.
glad you shouted them out, because I feel like a lot of our listeners and people that play at the parks now, they all know that the parks they go to are crowded.
Yeah.
Like Cataldi, hour and a half wait, hour wait.
Really?
Even
Wow.
EVC's, they have what, nine
that's-
courts?
I don't go there anymore because it's too crowded.
It's
Yeah.
crazy, right? There's like 2, 3, 4 stacks at any given time.
Yeah.
And so there's obviously a demand and obviously a need for more courts. So I'm glad you brought that up. It's good to know that they're trying and that
They're
know,
trying,
Yeah.
yeah. But the way there's a lot of bureaucracy with the city,
course.
and Parks and Rec, and so it takes time and
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll take what we can
see.
get.
Yeah. What's the new? Do you know what the newest park is?
I mean, coming from Morgan Hill,
Well,
I know
yeah,
they
yeah.
just opened up like
Yeah, it
a
was-
few months ago.
Did they really?
Yeah, super nice courts, like good fencing.
Permanent courts or
everything.
like overlay?
No, permanent courts.
Okay.
And they do overlays at like in the mornings on the basketball courts.
Ah,
Yeah,
interesting.
super cool. Like good community. Like already, I joined the group as soon as I saw it, and like morning times, a bunch of people are going, like 20, 30 people in the morning. I'm like, you guys don't have work or what?
Well, that's good. I mean, it's good to know that.
Beat the heat too.
It's
They were
still-
beating
yeah.
the heat. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually played a little bit in Livermore, and it's funny because I was playing during the summer, so it's like 100, 105, 90,
Yeah.
95 degrees, and it'll be packed like at
Yeah.
7 in the morning, 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
Come 11, 12, it's empty, and then
Yeah.
obviously 6 o'clock.
I will say, I think there's something really special about playing like under the lights in the night. Like it
That is
just
fun.
feels really fun and good. Like it's cool. I think there's a lot of people out there, good atmosphere. And it feels like it gives you that feeling of like, when you're in high school or college and you're playing like under the lights,
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that feeling.
It is a good experience. I wish there was more of that,
Yeah.
because like Cataldi, for example, brand new permanent courts, but they don't have the lighting.
Oh, they don't have lights?
They don't have the lighting
Oh,
yet.
yeah.
They have one little like street light under one court, but it's like literally a yellow light, and it's terrible. But I think it's mostly because of it's literally right next to all the residents.
Could that, yeah,
Yeah.
does that really become a conflict often, like the residents and the pickleball?
I feel like it would. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, apparently it definitely happens because obviously something just happened at Cataldi?
Cataldi, yeah.
But in my experience where I've played in like Palmore Park, there's never been.
are
problems.
there? I've never been there. Are there houses like pretty close by?
There are across the street.
Okay.
But like it's a pretty busy street intersection, so like that kind of shrouds this noise.
Okay.
but
That's probably why
there's never
then.
been problems there. But yeah, maybe it's a quiet neighborhood or something.
Yeah.
There's like people out there. It's like 10 p.m. like with lights and like shouting and stuff, and I could see why.
Yeah. Why?
Actually,
could
there was a problem at Wallenberg Park because they used to have the 9 asphalt courts, and it was like literally right next to a house. So like people, we used to like shout and yell whatever. And I'm sure they were annoyed after a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Whoa, my ear just went out. That's weird. One other question I had for you too is, so you start this club. Obviously, you've passed the torch to your wife. What is some goals you have for the court or for the club? Maybe 5 years from now.
Yeah. I mean,
Or
I'll
vision.
ask
What's
my
your
wife
vision?
about that? The
Yeah.
current president, but at the time when I was president, I thought, well, really, it was incorporated to interface with the city and try to petition for more public courts, but that's been a struggle for like years.
That's a tall task.
Yeah, and I became kind of disillusioned by the process and just kind of moved on because I don't know, I just didn't want to keep on following up with people. It's just I had better things to do. So actually, I would encourage your listeners and stuff to like reach out to Parks and Rec or their district, their council member, and just at least send them an email to like say, hey, like I love pickleball. We need more courts where I live, just so that it's kind of like in their ear.
Yeah.
It's something.
Or else we won't vote for you.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, the more awareness, right? It's just
What's
continue
your
to.
pickleball platform? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, I could imagine so as I mentioned before, the clubs is kind of a weird area where like they've raised a decent amount of funds over the years. It's enough to definitely buy a lot of like nets and balls, but it's not so much that you can start building public courts because it's very expensive to build public courts.
I mean, one court's like what, like 50 grand or something like that, like something crazy.
Or more.
Yeah.
Just anything in like any public works project is very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
The rates are very high to build them.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's the end goal, right? Hopefully we can see it. But I think in general, the work you guys have been doing, maybe not have turned directly into courts that you built directly, but that noise and that constant chatter and is getting, some light and attention to pickleball. I think that's helped kind of facilitate some of the growth in the city. So thank you guys for doing that.
We can't say we got the lines repainted at Paul Moore before it was like a dark green, you could barely see it, and now it's like a bright yellow. So that's great. And then we also actually did get the 4 overlay lines at Edenvale Park in South San Jose. And then that's been great. That community is taking off.
Absolutely. Thank you for
Those
your
are
contribution with that.
That's like the only physical impact I could say.
Yeah. Cool. Well, one last question. If you have a message for our listeners, whether they're brand new to the sport, haven't played yet, have been playing for a while, what message would that be, and how would you encourage them to try it out or continue going?
Hopefully they're lucky enough to play with people who are also beginner friendly, and because I understand like people want different things at pickleball, for the most part everyone's super welcome and welcoming and like inclusive, and so keep with it and don't get discouraged if like you're getting like smoked at like you're playing some other people that are just more higher skill level. Just stick with it, and definitely reach out if you want more public courts, because you guys see it, like all the courts are just overrun. It's like we need more. We need more capacity. So like we just need more dedicated courts, and like the public option could happen. Like we just need more courts, and so reach out to your council member. Send an email to Parks and Rec stating your desire, and I think they'll hear that message. If a lot of people do that, I think it'll be impactful.
So you heard it here first. This is how we get more courts. Send emails, Park and Recs. What else?
And your local council member.
Make it happen. Episode 21, Dink or Swim. Thanks everyone for listening. Peace out, y'all.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Your vibe, baby, hotter than July. We be outside, on like 5. Wanna take a deep dive, diving in your zone. Shorty like like a Love Jones. Sipping on Perignon, higher than a drone. Baby, wanna get it on, baby, we could get it. But I gotta mention that all your sexual tension, yeah. Shorty got